Hello and welcome back to another video from me, FPL Crusader. Call me Luke if you wish. Now today we are talking about rule changes. Every year FPL tweaks the game, but this season they've gone big so far and there could be more to come. They've got more points, more chips, more strategy. The issue here is some creators want you to pay for the privilege. They want you to pay to go on their channel to get expert advice for specific updates and changes. I'm just here to simplify things so you don't need to bother about that. A lot of people in the middle of July aren't even worrying about FPL. But let's have a look at these 8 key changes that we've got coming up, and you can deduce after that whether or not you need to shell out your hard-earned money for information that could be given to you on the FPL website. First things first, and this is quite a major change on paper. But as you'll see from the next slide, not such a major change in terms of the impact to your FPL team. Defensive contributions. Now, we've been crowing about this for years. We've finally got it. It's called CBIT, clearances, blocks, interceptions, and tackles. And then if you're a midfielder, chuck an R in there for recovery. So the defensive contributions means that if you are a defender in the back line, if you're a defender in FPL and you get 10 or more defensive contributions, you get an extra 2 points. If you're a centre back, you get 2 points for showing up, and you probably get 0 points for everything else. The majority of the time that you are getting these defensive contributions is because your team is losing. That's a fact. So the extra 2 points could bump you up from 2 to 4. Now, everyone wants an extra 2 points, but let's be realistic here. Are we going to play these players every single week if they're only getting 2 points? I don't think so. The person at the front of this is James Tarkowski. Now, he's a great Everton defender on paper. In FPL, he's relatively irrelevant. Under Dyche, when they got lots of clean sheets, he was fantastic. Now Dyche is not there. They're not so defensively focused. It's not going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. If we have a look next, the defensive points is a bit like a unicorn. You don't know when you're going to get it. You don't know where it's coming from. And realistically, you're probably not going to play that same player to be in that same game week. Tarkowski got the 2 points that was put on the FPL website against City. Are you going to play James Tarkowski against Manchester City? I don't think so. He got 2 points that game week last year. Add the 2 for the defensive actions, he would have got to 4, which is not too bad for James Tarkowski. 4 points is pretty good. That being said, similar players in his position in that game week where he got the bonus, or the 2 point bonus, Munoz's got 6 points, Saliba got 7 points, Aina got 6 points, and none of these players got the CBIT bonus because they're getting these points every week. My point is, don't panic. Just because James Tarkowski or someone like him can get those extra 2 points doesn't mean they're better than your standard defenders. Your attacking defenders are still scheduled to score more every single week if they get attacking returns. The same goes for Moise Caicedo for Chelsea. Against Arsenal, he got extra 2 points. That brings him up to 4. That's fine, Caicedo. You got 4 points. Congratulations. But it's not that good in terms of the general FPL. And Mbeumo got 8 points that same game week. Bowen got 5 points that same week, as did Odegaard. If you're playing 3 in the middle, you can maybe play Caicedo as well, but you don't really need him in your team for 2 points. Moving forward, though, it does look good for certain players. But those who are saying they can capitalize it and they're asking you to pay money to capitalize it, the people on FPL towers don't even know how it's going to pan out, let alone so-called experts in our community. So take it with a grain of rice. It is a very, very good introduction to the game of FPL, but it's by no means a game breaker or a game changer. The wide defenders and the attacking midfielders are still going to outscore these players. It's just a recognition of their defensive actions, which is something we've been crowing on for years. So well done on getting that across the line, Fantasy Premier League. Now, because it's not the most amazing update, that's all we're going to talk about, and we're going to move on. One of the big updates that can give you extra points is the double chips. Now, I say double chips. We've always had 2 wildcards. Now we've got 2 bench boosts, 2 wildcards, 2 free hits, and 2 triple captains. They have to be used within the same year, within the same half of the year. So you've got 2 distinct halves of the year now, game week 1 to 19 and game week 20 to 38. It's always been that way. But if you don't use a bench boost, a wild card, a free hit, or a triple captain, or if you don't use any by game week 19, they shell off. You don't have them anymore. You can't carry them through, but you do get awarded those 4 again for game week 20 to 38. So when can you use it? When's the best time to use it? There will be so many content creators that will come out with chip strategies and chip strategy podcasts, and it's hard to get rid of all the white noise. But for me, I always go for Planet FPL. I'm not affiliated with them, but their chip strategy is on point. So if you need one, go for them. If you take in more than one, if it is like 5, 6, or 7, then it's too hard to differentiate what's going on in your head. That's my point of view. So in terms of chips, you get 8 this year, 4 in the first half, 4 in the second. Bench boost game week 1 looks popular. Wildcard 15 could be popular, considering you're going to get a lot of transfers in game week 16, which we'll touch on a little bit later. Free hit could be any time. Your triple captain in the first half of the game week, first half of the season could be City versus Burnley if Haaland hits the ground running. But just remember, if you do not use your 4 chips by game week 19, at the end of game week 19, then they disappear and you can't use them again. So if you're so good at FPL, you don't need to use them. Congratulations. But if you're like me and you're desperately climbing for points, you'll need to use them before game week 19. And this could impact our points totals very well. I like this one. It's very good. Next is more assists. So there is more assists this season. There's more ways to get assists. They'll be rewarded if the ball reaches the goal scorer inside the box, as long as there's only one defensive touch. So there can be a deflection, there can be a touch. The touch can't be a pass. If they're intercepting a pass, if the ball goes to a striker and the defender intercepts it with a one-touch pass, but it still goes to the striker, then that's not counted. If there's only one defensive touch, like a deflection, that's fine. A forced handball is also an assist as well, whether it's a score from a penalty or a free kick awarded from that handball. If that penalty or free kick is awarded, then you get the assist, which is good. Now, there's no assist if there's 2 or more defensive touches, if the touches are passed by the defender, as I said, or if the ball is received outside the box and the goal scorer goes into the box and scores. That one's a bit subjective, but I think they'll use that subjective. Like if I pass, not me, but if someone passes to Marmouche and he's on the edge of the box and he takes one step into the box and then hits the top bins, to me that's you'll get an assist for that one. But it's a little bit subjective, but it's actually a lot more clearer than it has been, because we've spent years just saying to people, why wasn't that an assist, blah blah blah. But for now, it's a bit clearer. Have a look at this, have a look at the site. You'll understand it a little bit more. There's still going to be a whole bunch of Twitter, Blue Sky, and private chat groups that argue the point. It doesn't really matter. We can't change anything. And it is a bit more simple as we move forward. Speaking of simplicity, bonus point system is still king. There are extra bonus point system points awarded for certain actions. Goal line clearance is +9 bonus points, up from 3. Saved from inside the box is +3. Successful tackles +2. So a lot of defensive actions there. And penalties scored are 12 bonus points, same for all positions. Previously to this, they were different across multiple positions on the field, but now they're the same across every position. Now, if you want a bonus point system explanation, go to Above Average FPL. They do the best one every year. I am not very good at bonus point system. It's confusing to me. That's why I update the FPL app during the games to see how I'm going. Go on to Above Average FPL. They will give you the best explanation possible. But bonus point system, there will be more bonus points floating around. This is to coincide with the defensive actions as well, I would suspect. Once again, I'm not an expert. This is just my opinion, and you don't have to pay for it. AFCON is this year. So the African Cup of Nations, 5 free transfers in game week 16. What does this mean? If you have 4 transfers in game week 15 and you're rolling, you won't get 5 on top of that 4. Every single person, every single manager will get 5 transfers at the start of game week 16. Once it updates for game week 16 as the next game week, you'll have 5. So it makes sense to dead in your transfers from game week 15. So you got 0. That way you can maximize them the most, and then you get 5 anyway for game week 16. Now, AFCON players predominantly will still play in game week 16, but this is just a preparation of giving you 5 transfers. There are some that might not play in 16 and they might leave early. But that's something for you as a manager. You need to decide what to do with. Which players are we talking about? Well, Salah and Marmoush play for Egypt, and they are probably going to go right to the end, if not the final, definitely the semi-final, I would suspect. Ryan Atnui, Brian Mbuemo, these will all be very popular picks, and they'll all be going quite deep because their teams are pretty good. For me, I will probably look to, if I still have it, either wildcard or free hit around this time, and then use the 5 transfers. I just think that's a good utilization of that. Or, so the issue is when they come back, you might need to use your wild card as well. Hence, I don't do chip strategies because there's too many variables for my little brain. But this one, much like the previous slide, or previous slides, I should say, is quite interesting. A bit like the double chips. If you use this to the best of your ability, then you will definitely get a points boost, and your rank will increase as well. So, moving on. Speaking of ranking increase, there are 2 new leagues that the FPL has brought in this season, a top 1% and a top 10% league. So if you are in 24-25, if you finish inside the top 114k or 114,319 or below, you'll be placed into a league called the top 1%. I could just imagine everyone skiting on social media. It's going to be quite funny. If you're in the top 10%, which is 1.14 million, you'll be in the top 10% league, which is predominantly the most of the people that play, especially those that won't skite about which league they're in. They will be in that one. And if you win either of these leagues, you can get a ball. There's other prizes there. I think you can get a copy of EAFC because they're the major sponsor. You can get a team shirt and all sorts of other prizes as well. So it does mean that your rank matters more than bragging rights. 2 new global leagues. I mean, I guess it's interesting, but if you like me, I predominantly play mini leagues anyway. So I think I'm automatically put into leagues for like the country I'm in, and also how I view the footy. Over here in Australia, it's called Optus Sport, or it was. There was an Optus Sport league. There's also fan leagues, obviously. If you support one of the teams or the team that you nominate, I'm a Fulham player, Fulham fan, I should say. So I'm in one of their leagues all the time. So the 1% they're trying to say is like an elite league, I guess we'll call it. Would you really call it elite? I guess so. I mean, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're having fun with the game, it doesn't matter too much. You can find that where you find all your other leagues as well. But yeah, there is some prizes. There's no monetary value from what I can tell, but it is prizes. But if you're like me and you get it and you win a league and you get a free Fulham shirt, Bonza, that's really good. I like that. As I said, it is what it is. Now we've got a reclassification. They've released some, expect more to come. The reclassification of positions. The 3 major ones, and I'll touch on them straight away, is Bowen. Jarrod Bowen from West Ham is now a forward, which brings his effectiveness down a lot as far as I'm concerned. Matheus Cunha from United is now a midfielder, and Marmoush from City is now a midfielder. So the 2 Manchester players have gone from forward to midfield, as has Cody Gakpo. So what does this mean? This means that when they score a goal, it'll be worth more. Absolutely. It's also reflecting where they play on the pitch. Now, Bowen, he played less than half the games at 4, but they put him as a forward. Yeah, that's interesting to me. One of the other players in there is Ryan Sessegnon. He's a midfielder now instead of defense. He was defense before, but he was playing on the wing a lot for us towards the end of last season. So hence that's why they put him in the midfield. There's a few at the top there from Arsenal and Brentford, Keane Lewis-Potter and Lewis Skelly, who are now defenders. Keane Lewis-Potter especially, he could be playing in the front line now that Mbuemo's gone, and possibly Wissa is going as well. We don't know that for sure, but if that happens, you'd expect him to be part of the offensive line. So defender playing up front, or we've had players in the past who have absolutely nailed it doing that. So he could be someone to keep an eye on. But as we know, Brentford have almost been decimated this off season, so we don't know what's going to happen there. So the players that went from forward to mid, Cunha and Marmoush, what does that mean? Well, they're going to get a point for a clean sheet, first off. They get an extra point for a clean sheet and an extra point. An extra point for a clean sheet and an extra point per goal. So immediately they are worth more. Bowen loses that. So he's probably comparative Bowen to the likes of Wissa or even Ilson. Whereas Cunha and Marmoush will be up there with Mbuemo now, I think, in terms of effectiveness. Cunha, I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm not sure how he'll play, where he'll play. I don't think he'll get penalties over Bruno. So with him, it's a bit of a wait and see for me. We've got some early prices as well. Alexander Isak is going up to premium value at 10.5. Florian Wirtz is coming at 8.5. So he'll be a big consideration. For me, he takes over the Bowen / Mbeumo position in that midfield, who was the second or third highest player. I think he could do pretty well. I expect Liverpool to do very, very well in terms of the first few game weeks. Have obviously had some devastating news over the break, and they will start the season very, I'd say, aggressively. Ryan Aitnori comes into City at 6. That's quite high, considering he's not guaranteed to start. Vardiol should be about the same price. That might be the safest way to go. And Jordan Pickford, he's been the #1 scoring goalkeeper for the last 2 seasons. However, 5.5 million, that's a lot now. They're away to Leeds in the first day. Leeds will be really up for that. And they've got Brighton, Wolves, Villa, Liverpool, and West Ham. It's a tough start. In fact, all of these 4 teams have very tough starts. Look at Newcastle down the bottom. Villa, Liverpool, Bournemouth, and Arsenal. Bournemouth probably shouldn't be read anymore, but Villa, Liverpool, and Arsenal all in the first 6. And even Liverpool themselves have a tough task in 2 and 3. Maybe it's good to wait for Wirtz until game week 4 to see where he actually plays against the 2 big boys. That being said, expect more of this to come. Expect all your favorite content creators to go out and say you need to look at them, look at their videos now, look at all their price reveals. I'll be putting out some shorts myself, so this is probably the most long form video I'll do on these new rule changes. My advice would be to ignore the panic, ignore the buy now scams, block out the noise, and just enjoy FPL. If you're not ready to look at FPL yet, don't worry. I won't start for another month. You've got a 30-day holiday to go. So just relax from FPL. It's not the easiest game to play. It is the most fun, but it's not the easiest. The FPL changed, but it's still your game. So there's no need to panic, no need to buy. Just stay informed, play your game, and don't follow the noise. Obviously, I keep saying no need to buy into things that people aren't experts on, but they want your money. If it's your hard-earned money, go for it. It's got nothing to do with me. If you're over 18, it's up to you. If you're under 18, say hi to your mum from me. Thank you very much. That's all I've got for today. Have a good game week, or have a good week, and I'll talk to you next week.